And it came to pass that on the 3rd day of November, in the never-ending year commonly called 2020, there was a comedy show. No, I don't mean the U.S. election. I mean a comedy show produced in association with the University of Minnesota's Wiseman Art Museum. A comedy show co-created by Minnesota's own Theater of Public Policy. A comedy show featuring Amreeka.
Daddy, what's Amreeka?
I think it's a city in Kansas.
No, that's Topeka.
Daddy, what's Amreeka?
I think it's a seasoning used in a lot of Hungarian cooking.
No, that's paprika.
Daddy, what's Amreeka?
A song by Rick James?
No, that's... What is that?
Super Freaka?
Oh, forget it. Amreeka is a New York-based comedy showcase that brings together a diverse group of comics who all... Oh no! Look out! Here they come!
Please say hello to your panelists for the evening. Suzie Afridi, Usama Siddiquee, Amer Zahr, and the cast of the Theater of Public Policy, Denzel Beelan, Jim Robinson, Alexis Camille, and Brandon Boach. And now, please welcome your host, Tane Danger.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Yay. This is so exciting. Oh, I am delighted to be with you all. My name is Tane Danger. I am the host, usually, of a program called the Theater of Public Policy. But tonight is special for a whole bunch of reasons. It is election night in the United States. And more to the point this evening, this is a special program that we are doing in collaboration with the Wiseman Art Museum at the University of Minnesota and Amreeka, which is an amazing comedy group that we are going to be talking all night with 3 of their comedians. And I am so excited to do probably the most unusual election night special in the country, I want to say. Like, this is going to be something different. This is fun. This is good stuff. And I'm excited that you all are here with us. We have stand-up comedy, improv, and one thing that I am really excited about is we have a live correspondent out in America all night long, giving us updates about what is happening across this country as people go to the polls. I actually want to start our whole evening by checking in with her. So first up tonight, our correspondent on the ground, reporting live right now from, Election USA, Heather Meyer, cast member of the Theater of Public Policy. Heather, are you there? Are you tuning in? Can we talk to you? I'm not seeing Heather. Oh, here comes Heather.
I'm here. The internet in North Dakota is hard to find in the wind and the weeds and the prairie, but I'm here, Tane, and I'm here in the heartland of America, and I have got some numbers for you.
Okay, Heather Meyer reporting live from North Dakota, not exactly usually thought of as like a swing state. But, and also, what is this? Are you at a polling place? What is happening?
I am inside a Halloween store 2 days after Halloween, and the numbers I have for you, Tane, are 90% off all the bones you could get. Look at this pumpkin. You could get this for 90% off. The deals are wild.
So, you went to a Halloween store in North Dakota to find out that things were very discounted on November 3rd.
You bet. I'm just stocking up on prairie hats and novelty glasses. You never know. I'm just ready for the season.
Okay, and because we sent you out there to give us like a flavor of sort of America on election night, I don't know, is there any kind of thing that you want to just tell us about, what we're here for tonight?
If you're going to talk about flavors on November 3rd, it's pumpkin spice.
Okay, all right, this is good. Heather, I know this has been interesting. We have we're going to check in with you at least 2 more times throughout the evening. You've got some other stops. I know you need to get in a car and drive somewhere.
And a train. I'm on my way.
Okay, we'll check back in with you later, hopefully with a more
pumpkins. I found a wizard hat. I better take that too.
Okay, that's good. All right, Heather Meyer, everybody, a big round of applause. Thank you so much for checking in with us. That's good. Okay, we'll see you again later. Okay, well, that is something. Well, I am really excited to welcome our panel. I forgot to do one thing at the very top of the show, which is to thank our beer sponsor this evening, which is fabulous Finnegan's Beer. I'm going to hold it this way. Finnegan's Beer, which is a wonderful Minneapolis-based brewery that donates 100% of its profits to feeding the hungry. They are an amazing, delicious beer company. I was there earlier tonight. They had both election results from CNN on and Futurama, which seems like you can pick your poison. So it was a good mix. So if you are out there watching and you are within driving distance of Finnegan's Beer, go get a Finnegan's Beer. I don't know. Depending on how tonight goes, I am set up. All right. With that, I am super excited to welcome our fabulous panel for this evening. Dennis already introduced them all. I couldn't be more thrilled to get to spend this very unusual, very stressful evening with these 3 very funny people. So one more time, just as a reminder, we've got Suzie Afridi here, Usama Siddiquee, and Amer Zahr. Please, big round of applause. And I got to start with this. Amer, where are you right now?
Well, I am coming to you straight from Dearborn, Michigan. That is the Arab American capital. You might have heard of us on Fox News, or as my dad calls it, Fuck Us News, because he can't speak English very well. But I mean, it is beautiful. I mean, it's gonna fill up. I'm sitting in another area inside. There's a bunch of Arab guys smoking cigarettes and talking politics. So it's really just like any other night. But it is a special night here because we are here for the election in the swing state of Michigan. I'm here with my hookah, and I'm excited to spend this evening with all of you.
I am super excited as well, because when I think of Michigan, I think of hookah bars in Dearborn. This is my perfect picture of this. Can you just give us a flavor of what's Michigan? Because it's very much a swing state this year. A lot of focus. What's it been like there?
Well, there's been a lot of energy. There's no question about that. Now, I think I've seen more energy on both sides, but maybe the anti-Trump energy will win out tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But it is going to be close. That's for sure. I live in Dearborn, where today we had a lot of same-day voters, a lot of same-day registrants, and it was a lot of energy. So let's see, but they're counting mail-in votes here till Friday. So I don't think we'll have an answer about Michigan tonight, but I got a TV in front of me. I am ready to watch and listen and report to all of you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I actually don't, Usama, where are you right now? You have a completely generic background. I have no idea.
I'm sorry, I know, but if you can see, obviously it's a New York wall. I'm in New York right now. I'm drinking. I'm ready to go. It's not Finnegan's. It's Red Stripe. Sorry, but I'm also drink Finnegan's if you're there. Feeling good in New York, where it's gonna be left, but it's like still, who knows?
Yeah, the swing state of New York. I know, very.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. No, so that's good. But have you been in the city this whole time, or have you been traveling?
I did some gigs in LA. I was in Dallas a little bit for my mom, quarantining with her. I'm from Texas, which is blue right now, which is blowing my mind. Don't know what's going on. I think Beto, it might be just like yelling from his house. I don't know what's going on. Something is good. And so I'm just happy to be in New York and reporting as well with this beer. And I'm getting drunk slowly to numb whatever apocalypse might come through.
That's good. We have 2 hours to get through, so please, pace yourself at least till we get to the end of the show. Suzie, hello. You are coming from a blurry background somewhere in America. Where are you?
I am also in New York. I'm uptown. I don't know. I think Usama's downtown. I'm reporting not a very exciting location like Amer. I'm at home.
Yeah. Well, that's appropriate. That's where we should be.
I was out and about today, and they are getting ready for apocalypse, like Usama said. They're boarding up all the shops with wooden panels and
yeah. No, it's the same thing here. So I am, for folks watching from all over the country, which hopefully you are, I am here in Minneapolis, the home of the Theater of Public Policy. I'm at the historic Bryant Lake Bowl Theater, which is one of the few restaurant, cabaret theater, and bowling alley institutions in the United States. So very happy to be here. But it's the same thing. People are boarding stuff up here, just sort of very nervous about what's going to happen. But I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like I am on the same page as, for that we're not going to know very much tonight. Maybe.
Yeah. We're not.
That's like a terrible setup. I'm like, so what's it like not knowing stuff?
100%. I mean, it's terrifying. It's you look at the map right now, it looks equal. I mean, I think Joe has 119, Donald Trump has 192. I'm refreshing until my arm goes numb. It's getting a little wild. Some of the swing states, it looks like Florida has a little edge. Georgia has a little edge. But if Florida goes blue, I think this whole nation explodes. There's no way that's going to happen, I don't think. But honestly, the fact that Texas is blue is still blowing my mind. So who knows what's going to happen, really.
Yeah, I got to say, I grew up in Florida. I grew up in South Florida. I just want to say on the front end, I apologize for the 2000 election. I will carry that with me forever. I
mean, listen, Tane, you got to apologize for Florida in general, too. Let's not go small. Let's macro that apology. Jesus.
It's true. But this is fascinating to me. So you think, Usama, that like Texas is more likely to vote for like a Democrat this year than Florida?
I mean, if you look at the map right now, that's what's kind of blowing my mind, is because right now Biden has 50% and Trump has 48.7%. So it's very close. I mean, it's very, very close. And that's 38 electoral votes right in the bag. And I'm from Texas, so I have no faith in my people. So I am blown away that all my bullies right now are going for Biden. It's blowing my mind.
Amer, can you give us a sense of sort of, you mentioned there's been a lot of same-day registration, a lot of people checking in there. I don't know, like, what, are you hearing conversations around you? Are people nervous? Are they excited? Like, what's the flavor?
No, people are nervous because I tell you, here you would expect that a lot of the vote would go to Biden, right? Because we're in a heavily Arab area. There's about 500,000 Arabs in Michigan, a couple 100,000 at least registered voters. And but, you know, we've seen a lot of Arab energy for Trump, not the majority, but more than what we thought. And I don't know. I mean, Trump sort of is like, an Arab dictator, right? He gives his kids jobs that they're not qualified for. He lies about how much money he makes. He's like very many Arab uncles that I know. And he appeals this sort of, in a real way, this sort of machismo that comes out of the Republican Party anyway, I think appeals to a lot of minorities, actually, not just Arab Americans. So we'll see what happens. If Trump does better, it seems like Trump is going to do not as good with white people as he did last time, but he might do better with some minorities. I mean, I'm looking at this stuff in Florida. He's up by 300,000 votes in Florida with almost everything counted. He's going to win Florida, it looks like. And I'm looking, he's up in North Carolina, or he's close in North Carolina. He's up in Georgia big. So let's see. I mean, this could be a recipe. But by the way, let's be clear. I also went to law school a long time ago, and I teach law too. And there's going to be like 1 million lawsuits tomorrow morning. There's no way that we're going to really know what happens tonight. So we should prepare ourselves. I think this is going to make Florida in 2000 look like the It's a Small World After All ride at Disneyland. I mean, it's not going to be pleasant. This is going to be are we allowed to say shit show? This is going to be, can we say that? Can I say?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. My parents, but whatever. They can handle it.
Yeah, it's going to be a shit show. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people are going to learn a lot of stuff about American democracy that they're not going to be very happy about. We're going to learn a lot about how the sausage is made, and it's not gonna be cute.
Well, welcome to our election night comedy special, everybody. This is great. Okay, Suzie, I want to turn to you. So you are in New York as well. Both you and Usama are. I thought everybody left New York. I thought it was a ghost town. That is what the president had said.
Yes, no, it's not true. I think that like the people that I know who have left New York are not like real New Yorkers anyways. Like this one mom was telling me that this is how I know that I'm done with New York. I've done such a good job raising my son, because he asks people, "Do you celebrate Christmas?" And I'm thinking, like, that's your mark of how cultured he is. Like, you know, based on my standards, like the kid has to compare like art from the MoMA at the Met and in 3 languages. That's how I know if a kid is cultured. And so that's the kind of person who's leaving New York. And I think it's fine. I think that New York will be fine.
So who's left?
It's just me and her, the two poor people that are left in this place.
Yeah. But we actually, like, after COVID, we kind of got this like country cabin in Pennsylvania. And I was telling Amer this, that we voted in Pennsylvania. And I was like, Amer, I'm going to save democracy. And he's like, darling, he's going to win.
So you were spending some time in Pennsylvania, which is like the state everyone is watching.
Yeah, you see Trump-Pence signs everywhere.
Great.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Where were you in Pennsylvania? And do you have other data to talk to us about, or was it just the Sunday drive?
It was just...
What Tane is asking is, please show him a picture of Biden sign in Pennsylvania, or he's going to go crazy right now.
We are in the Poconos, which is kind of like a vacation, like old people area. But my only data is that we registered 4 votes in Pennsylvania, and it was actually easier to get the mortgage than to register to vote in Pennsylvania, because it was like a 3-step process.
To vote, what did you have to do to be able to vote?
First, you had to register, which was like something you do online, and we had to get around the fact that we didn't have a Pennsylvania driver license. And then after registering, we had to apply for a mail-in ballot, and then we received the mail-in ballot. And then like I had my in-laws, who technically they live in Pakistan, I had them sign. I'm like, here, sign here, and then I just sent the ballot in. So there was like 4.
Can I just say, like, if any producer from Fox News is watching right now, you are going to make tonight's news 100%.
This is going to be in the lawsuit that Amer mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, but let's also be clear. Suzie was trying to show up to register with, you know, her, a Palestinian with an accent, her Pakistani husband, in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. I mean, I would have double-checked all their paperwork. I would have made sure that they really were who they were. I mean, who are these brown people showing up in the Poconos? Have you been to the Poconos? Okay, it is like the Alabama of Pennsylvania. I grew up in Pennsylvania. It's the Alabama of Pennsylvania. And they're showing up. She's showing up with all this wavy curly hair and a Pakistani husband and an accent and some weirdly mixed brown kids. I mean, I would have asked all kinds of questions.
It's so funny, Tane, because when I did the census, I consulted with Amer to fill out the form. And we are 4 people. And somehow we ended up with like 3 Pakistanis and 3 Palestinians. I don't know how. Like,
I can imagine them going like, Suzie, huh? Suzie, right.
Right. How do you say your name in Muslim, Suzie?
Yeah. Mohammed, huh?
Amer, so you like grew up in Michigan. Now you grew up in Pennsylvania. Now you're in Michigan. Do you just like hop from swing state to swing state? And where are you moving next?
Yeah, I don't know, probably Ohio, and then Texas as it gets bluer. I don't know, but I mean, I actually grew up in a swing country called Jordan, and I come from another swing country called Palestine, and then we moved here to America. And then I grew up in Pennsylvania, finished high school there in a very nice white neighborhood. Yeah, everybody was very nice. They were very nice and white. You know, they were all like, you know, just nice white, like, you know, Episcopalian. Just really nice.
To say, I'm from Minnesota. If you had just replaced that with Lutheran, you've basically described a lot.
You know, we had some Lutheran churches. It was, you know, all the different Protestants were hanging around us. And everyone was really nice. I thought I was white like the rest of them. I played baseball. I really didn't know I was different until I was running for class president in 1991. And then I put up photos of my face. And then that night, America bombed Iraq. And then someone wrote on my face, "Go home, terrorist." And I was like, oh, they do know I'm different. I had no idea. I guess they do know I'm not one of them. And that's when I joined Al Qaeda and started going to the meetings. And then, but I mean, on September 12th, I was like, this is too much for me. I can't really hang out with these people anymore. But yeah, I mean, it was an interesting upbringing. So I decided to move from that ultra white place to Dearborn, Michigan, which is like all Arabs, and it has a beautiful history too. And I love walking around Dearborn because there's a lot of history. And every time I see an old church in Dearborn, I'm like, that is going to be a beautiful mosque one day. And so I just really love being here. And one day, hopefully, I'll come to the other sort of white mecca of Minnesota, where it's just a bunch of white people who are liberal, but they never have to prove it. I mean, what a nice place for white liberal people to live. So I hope to see you there one day, Tane.
I hope so too. We would absolutely love to have you. I don't know if we take as many churches. We take a lot of historic sort of flour mill titans old homes and turn those into mosques. I think is sort of
right.
Okay, so actually I have to transition here. This is like my only job because we're gonna get some stand-up comedy from Suzie, which I'm very excited about. Are you ready to go? Because if so, I'm gonna do your fabulous intro here.
Yeah.
So Suzie Afridi is a comedian. She has been a main stage player with The Moth, which a lot of our viewers, I'm sure, are very familiar with. She is a storyteller. She is a mother. She says in her bio, she, at this point, will perform at just about anywhere. With that, I could not be more thrilled to welcome our first stand-up for this evening. Please, a big round of applause wherever you are. You have to kind of imagine the applause, Suzie Afridi, everybody! Yeah!
So, okay, just to tie back to what Amer was saying, the Poconos is really white. I was reading the newspaper, and they had like this section, there's this community, and they were saying, we welcome all three religions. And they listed the religions, and it was like Islam, and then two sects of Christianity, like the ones you mentioned, no, sorry, not Islam. They mentioned Judaism, like Episcopalian, and another sect of Christianity. So I thought that was really funny that that's what they think of as like the three religions. I know that everyone is like really anxious. I was out and about today, and I sensed so much anxiety. I feel like we've all been studying for this exam. And we submitted our exam, and now we're just anxiously waiting for the results. I don't know, does anyone feel like that, or am I the only nerd here?
Yeah.
And I also think that, like Amer said, the result is not going to be in any time soon. It's going to be a lot of mixed, confusing messages. It's going to be like when my son started school, like 2 months ago, we got so many confusing emails from his school. That, for the first day of school photo, how people post like really cute pictures of their kid, like wearing a collared shirt with like a chalkboard. And I like how she's translating what I'm saying. It's very cute. And the chalkboard says something like, first day of kindergarten. And so for my son, I had the chalkboard say, first day of no one knows what the fuck is going on. and I feel like that's tomorrow. Like, do you guys agree that that's what tomorrow is going to be?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Tane, for inviting me. You gave me a reason to finally wash my hair this year.
Welcome.
Thank you, Wafaa. I know he's listening somewhere in Forest. Thank you for the you guys are amazing. Yeah, like I finally this year has been so rough that I haven't washed my hair until today. And I was in the line for voting, and this woman said to me, I like your hair. But the way she said it, like I felt like she had plans for my hair that don't include sometimes Amer, you relate to this. Sometimes I feel like my hair, I'm joking. Sometimes I feel like my hair has way more potential than I do. Harvard and the rest of me just went to like a state school. I actually used to be a tax accountant, but I was really bad. I just kept filing extensions. Like actually this would be my, because I would go from April to June, June to October, October to December. And if you heard me, you'd be like, this girl works at a hair salon. Hello. You know, for me, the hardest part about the last 4 years is that there's this sort of like anti-intellectualism, and I've just decided like it's not worth it to be smart or to try to read or anything. So I've decided to stop reading and start working on a makeup line. And as a Palestinian woman, my eyeshadow palette is going to be called Two Shade Solution. So when I was watching the debates, I was thinking, like, if I was Biden, I would tell Trump, listen, anybody who says America is not great has never traveled overseas and tried other countries' paper towels. I mean, America's economy is directly linked to the strength of the Viva, choose a size, perforated paper towel. When I travel, when I go to the West Bank or Pakistan, where my husband's from, I take my paper towels with me and I tease them. I say, look, this thing is strong. When wet, you can squeeze it, you can dry it, you can reuse it. And theirs just kind of falls apart in your hand like American democracy. So did you hear that what Trump said, that if he loses, he's going to leave the country, which is convenient because I think if he wins, we will leave the country. Amer has already left the country. He's in Dearborn.
That's correct.
But I can't leave the country because I can't give up my right to return. You know how Palestinians are obsessed with the right of return? I love the right to return. Like the other day, I went to Bed Bath & Beyond, and I returned a toaster that I bought that I had for 7 years. And the thing was so dirty that the woman had to wear like gloves to handle it. And she gave me $220. And
nice.
You know what, Tane? I didn't even buy it from them. That's the beauty of the right to return. Did you hear, so I was listening to the BBC News, and they were actually like, BBC News was touting the Abraham Accords that Netanyahu and Trump did, like the peace accords. And I was like, oh my God, those things are like the silliest thing. Even like, I don't know if you heard about this, Amer, but Sudan is the latest country that joined these accords. Mm-hmm. It's the dumbest thing on earth, because Israel doesn't have a problem with Dubai and Bahrain and Sudan. It's like we're not interchangeable. These are the wrong Arabs. It's like Taylor Swift making peace with a Jay-Z instead of Kanye. Like, that's not the same. So. But I think that Netanyahu just uses these as an excuse to do his laundry. Because every time he comes to America, America does his laundry. And I was actually, like, I was so curious that I Googled, why did they name it after Abraham? And I looked up the story of Abraham. And apparently when he told his son that he was going to sacrifice him to God, the son said, Inshallah, I will be very patient. And I was thinking that in today's time, the son would be like, okay, just give me your phone. So the election, oddly enough, coincides with my anniversary. I know that I've been married 20 years. I think I got married when I was like 10. And so I'm married to Tane, and I just remember I saw this video, and people, Americans in general, confuse Palestine with Pakistan, which is totally fine. I'm so used to it by now. I saw this video on Instagram. I saw this like really well-meaning American guy, and he looks directly into the camera and he says, I don't know who posted it. Amer, maybe you posted it. And the American guy says, fuck Trump. Jerusalem belongs to Pakistan. So anyway, we've been married for a long time, and I noticed there's a major like cultural difference between us. Like he is Asian, so he technically has that Asian work ethic, which is if one can do it, then I can do it, and if no one can do it, then I must do it. And I am Arab, so I have the Arab work ethic, which is if one can do it, let him do it. And if no one can do it, Habibi, how can I do it? So we have two kids. We had one kid, and we thought we were done. But for a long time, like for about 10 years, my body wanted a baby, but my husband didn't. And so my uterus and my husband would have a fight like every month. And my uterus would throw like a full intifada, like rocks, everything. And eventually I won. But I'm trying to get things right with the baby, because I kind of like, I don't know if I did a good job with the first one. Like, I'm always trying to teach the older one perspective. So I was reading him, teach him stuff with Zoom. So I was reading him the Malala story to teach him perspective. And at the end of the book, he says to me, he's like, the Taliban are so stupid. Why are they stopping the girls from going to school? It's the boys who don't want to go to school.
Oh.
And he said, if they come to where we live and they say, hey, you're not allowed to go to school, that's fine. It's fine. Don't shoot me. You don't have to shoot me. I don't have to go to school. I'll just go home and play Fortnite. It's fine. Zoom comedy is interesting. Like if I bomb on stage, I just like order the Uber from stage. But if I'm bombing here, then there's nowhere to go. Like, I'm already home. I don't know. One time Amer, I was at an Arab event and I bombed like so bad, and I ordered the Uber, and literally like most of the phones in the audience lit up. I don't know how everyone coped with COVID, but I coped. I gained 15 pounds, which is bad because I already had like 15 pounds. And the thing is, like, I don't know if you can see, but like I gain weight like this way and I lose weight this way. And so my whole like thigh situation just keeps hopelessly expanding, kind of like the Israeli settlements. No, I'm joking. There's hope for my thighs. I was watching Arab TV, because we got this box where you can watch like every Arab channel in the world. You just have to program it. It's really cool. And I saw this commercial for a slimming spa in Beirut. And in this commercial, there was like a graphic of a 3D figure and like a pear-shaped woman. And as she's going around, like inches were being like sliced off from her thighs as if she was a shawarma. And then by the time she finished rotating, she turns into Rihanna. And I'm sitting there thinking, yes, please, I'll take a Rihanna with a side of hummus and pickles. But I think I have to go back to my Israeli trainer because I only function on fear. And here's a pro tip for everyone watching. I am enjoying watching the sign language of my comedy.
Yeah.
And so here's a pro tip that with an Israeli trainer, the good thing about having an Israeli trainer is that I don't have to do cardio. I just let her talk and my heart rate rises. So my in-laws were here, they were visiting, and the thing is they only speak Pashto around me, which is, I don't understand Pashto. And so, and of course I take everything personally. It's like, when Trump did the interview with Leslie Stahl on 60 Minutes, and he didn't understand the phrase, tough questions, and he took it personally and walked off. That's pretty much me when somebody's speaking Pashto around me. And so I decided to get a book and learn the language. And so I go out and get a book, and this book is written by the CIA, and by the CIA, because the only people that speak Pashto are and the sentences in this book like didn't help me. There were things like, bring the money to the house by 2 p.m. or where are the weapons? Like the book just did not help at all. So did you guys notice with COVID, when COVID first started, that in China, when they first did the shutdown, like they took away all the elderly people? And I was thinking, this is the same government that took away live babies, during the one-child policy. And so you think they're not going to take away grandma? You're crazy. We watched a lot of movies during the shutdown, and I was quickly put on the probation list because I choose documentaries. But one of the films, thank you.
Love it.
I think Amer is eating shawarma with a side of biryani. And so one of the movies that I chose was this film called The Prophet. It actually has nothing to do with the Muslim prophet. It's about the poet Khalil Gibran, and I feel like my Wi-Fi is like slowing down. Like I think that like ISIS heard the prophet and they're like slowing me down. And so this movie is really like poetry, and so my son quickly switched to like some terrible movie, and I probably fell asleep. But anyways, we watched this movie, and then like 2-3 months later, we went to visit my husband's uncle, who runs like a Muslim Sunday school. And so this guy offers our son a trophy if he just answers like one question.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Our son is not prepared. So he looks at this guy and he says, all I know about The Prophet is that it's the worst movie ever.
Oh my God.
So I was working on an app to connect moms with their babysitters. It's kind of like LinkedIn meets Uber. And halfway through building this app, I found this other mom who basically built the same exact thing. And so I called up my partner, and you have to imagine my partner. She is like Indian, like Harvard MBA. She went to school with my hair. Like she's like Kamala Harris, like motivated, driven, just not me. And so I called up my partner and I said, hey, if she can do it, let her do it. So that's me. Thank you so much, Tane.
Hey! I lost track. A big round of applause, everybody. Suzie Afridi, everyone. Oh man, that was great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Happy anniversary?
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, that is super. That is great. I gotta say, like, there were so many cultural and religious references like interspersed in there. I feel like I need clip notes for your like next stand-up step to follow along. Great.
Tane's like, what is Islam? What are you talking about?
I've heard of it. No, it's actually honestly like I was like, I know that there's a beef with Jay-Z and Kanye, but don't ask me to explain it.
I don't know either. I'm just saying that like I had to use a pop culture reference.
Well, yes. Well, thank you for that. That's great. So this was great. Also, I did not know paper towels we had like a lead in paper towels in this.
Oh, huge lead.
I like how you just say like, yes, totally, and then just like drop the paper towel thing and be like, we're done. I also noticed as you were talking, like our fabulous American Sign Language interpreters who are here with us, particularly when you were talking about like the slimming, like apparently this is the signal. Yeah.
They were funnier than I am. I was watching them like tell my jokes and I was like, oh my God, this is really good. This could be a thing. Their expressions.
Well, we're going to turn over to the cast of the Theater of Public Policy in just a second, but I don't know. It's been a little while since we've checked in with you, Amer, Usama. Is there anything going on in the world that we should know about? Anything you want to say?
What's going on is that Susie's hilarious, and I forgot how good her jokes were. Oh my God. And you know what? Listen, Tane, it's on you. These are not like inside references. Everyone knows what Palestine is, okay? It's not like, what are you saying there, Susie? This is so niche. No, Tane, you need to Google some stuff. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know. I have homework.
No, I feel like Tane is basically representing the white contingent tonight, which is, most of Susie's references. He's just like, okay, what was that?
Did you call her? What is
that?
You need another language translator for my jokes, like.
Yeah. Yeah, you need like that's what you need. You need like a Tane's like the white whisperer. He'll explain all the jokes to white people.
Tane is so white. Tane is so white. His name isn't even a white name. It's like beyond our even comprehension. Talking about references. What's a Tane? Tane. Let's go there.
But Tane, you were a great audience. You laughed. You understand.
Love Tane, love Tane.
Oh no, I actually want, if somebody can please like endorse me for White Whisper on my LinkedIn page. Nice.
I think Trump would love one, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that is a fantastic I don't know. This is going to be so funny and interesting. So the cast of the Theater of Public Policy is here, and their job is to take things that we've been talking about, anything that's election related, I don't know, anything that they're just thinking about, and bring it to life on stage through entirely unscripted improv comedy. So, Suzie was amazing. Suzie got to like write her jokes ahead of time. Our cast is now going to do a set where this is all made up on the spot. It is not pre-rehearsed or pre-planned in any way. So let's see how that goes. I am so happy to welcome to the stage, please, a big round of applause. Tonight we've got Jim Robinson, Denzel Beelan, Alexis Camille, and Brandon Boat. Big round of applause, everybody, for the Theater of Public Policy.
Oh, thank God you're here.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm late. I'm like an absentee ballot. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so late.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm so glad that you were able to answer my ad because, well, I have this copy of Catcher in the Rye, and I just don't understand it. So I was like, why not get a white whisperer to help me understand what's happening?
Sure. Let me help you out. It's about a really wealthy kid who feels alienation because he has so much time to think about himself.
I don't quite get that.
Well, the thing is, he first of all, he lives in a metropolitan area, and he has no real insight into life beyond himself. He is an adolescent, so you have to give him some kind of room on that. But otherwise, he's very self-obsessed, and it's difficult to be self-obsessed because when you have to carry yourself, you don't have time to think about other people. Does that help?
Absolutely not.
Oh, God. It's going to be okay. I'm going to get through this. There's got to be some good news in the world.
Well, there is, actually. I finally finished The Catcher in the Rye. It's so good.
You think I should put it in? See, I'm making a bug out bag because I'm worried about things going really bad. And so I've got my dry pasta. I've got flashlight batteries.
You should put that in. Put in some Elizabeth Gilbert as well, too, because you might have an Eat, Pray, Love experience. You don't know.
Does she burn really well? Like, could I start a fire with her?
No, she's damp. Really.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
How are you doing? How's it going?
I'm stressed.
Yeah.
I'm stressed.
I was just having my girlfriend give me a back massage.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah.
This is the only person I'm dating recently, if you know what I mean.
Hey, don't cry. Don't cry. Hey, look, everything might turn out all right. Look, when I went to go vote earlier, the line was really short. I got bumped ahead of some people. One guy was like, "Oh, hey, that's not fair." That was good. I just feel like those were like signs that things are gonna be like okay.
Oh, okay, devil's advocate. A short line means that people aren't voting, which means that only a select number of people are dictating what will happen to all of us for the next four. Oh God. Oh God.
No. Okay. I see what you're doing there. But also, maybe that means there were early voters, lots of early voting. People got that in. You know what I mean? You know, we're like 100. Yeah, there's like 30 people.
Okay, but again, devil's advocate. We've been having a lot of issues with mail, and I sent my mom a birthday card, and she still hasn't gotten the birthday card. If they can't take care of a birthday card, what makes them think that they can take care? Oh God.
Okay, but also consider this.
I'm fighting off tears. I got nothing.
You want to take a swing with this?
You know.
I'm sorry that you I didn't mean for anybody to come in. And so Brandon and Alexis and Denzel, I didn't want anyone to see this, but you're going to have to see how democracy sausage is actually made.
Oh,
I know. And first of all, you start off by denial. And if any of you brought some denial, could you hand it to me, please?
yeah, here.
Got a little. I don't know enough to share.
This.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that. So you begin with denial. That's the casing that goes over the American democracy sausage. Denzel, what do you got for me?
I've got some good old-fashioned guilt.
We just need a little bit of it, just kind of flavor it.
Okay.
Because that turns into shame if you don't cook it right away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I have like literal sauerkraut. I'm not sure what you can do with that.
Oh, sauerkraut, that's great. It's Germanic. And, you'll notice that most American democracy sausage has a real white tinge to it. And so that'll...
Right up the top.
Yeah.
And that cheek.
Yeah. So anyway, did Brandon, I know that you brought the casing as well. So...
Here, just wrap it up in a ballot. I couldn't fill it out. I got too stressed.
Yeah, that's okay. We're not going to be using ballots after tonight, perhaps.
Jesus.
Well,
Jim, it's more disgusting than I could have thought. It's when you see all the kind of membranes and all of the
I feel like
glisten.
I should be a political vegan.
You can try that, but you'll never get more than 2%, and you'll never be an acknowledged party.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah. Sorry to bring everybody down.
No, it's okay. I was just trying to figure out how to bring us up. Anybody want to go to Canada?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the cast of the Theater of Public Policy. Now, please welcome back to the virtual stage your host for this evening, Tane Danger.
Yay! It's the Theater of Public Policy, everybody. Oh, I love this. This is good. This is fun. Okay, so I'm checking back in with our fabulous panel. I actually had this question that I wanted to ask you all. So this is a true story. 4 years ago on election night, Theater of Public Policy and I hosted an election night special here at the Bryant Lake Bowl. And I don't know if you've ever been like at what people thought they were coming to a birthday party and it turned out to be a wake. Because that's kind of what it felt like. And so there was a big emotional roller coaster for our audience that night. But I was curious if you all were as surprised or as like in shock about how 2016 turned out as like a lot I was, and I think a lot of people like me were, because I've heard like some of my friends of color say, "Oh no, we knew this was possible," and it was like a total shock to I think a lot of us, white, good faith Midwesterners. Was 2016 shocking to either of you? I don't know. Yeah,
it's cutting out. Yeah, we all went to parties. We were all going to parties. Everyone was like Hillary, the future is woman, bitches. It was a whole hullabaloo, and every party started off hot, and slowly you could hear like, huh? And then the swing state started going, and then it was this kind of like insane silence. It blew everyone's mind. Every poll from here to New York Times was like, nope, it's Hillary, and then Trump came out of nowhere like some Republican bulldog. It was out of control. There's no way you could have seen that coming.
Yeah,
I wasn't surprised because, as a woman, when you face sexism, I think America is like, I don't know if it's sexist or racist first. I'm not sure. But we just thought that, as much money as it was spent on her campaign, I thought she would win, but I wasn't super surprised when I woke up the next day.
It might have been the hot sauce. That must have destroyed her, I think. That was rough.
And so, I mean, are you approaching this election differently then?
Tane, yes. Alcohol. A lot of alcohol. Just nihilism. We'll see what happens. Hopeful, but definitely not trusting the polls anymore. I think what happens is a lot of the polls, they're like, yeah, I love Biden, Trump. You know, like it's not cool to say Trump on the phone or something. So I'm not like these polls are not real. There's not any sort of idea behind them. We saw that 4 years ago, and so I'm just drinking my Red Stripe. That should be a Finnegan's, and I'm just hanging out.
It's fine. I like Red Stripes. I love Red Stripe because I believe that their motto is "It's beer."
Yes.
The best.
And is that not true? You know?
Yeah, it's the most on point sort of slogan for a beer company ever. I don't know, Suzie. How about you? How did you kind of come into tonight differently, if at all, than 4 years ago?
I woke up optimistic, and then I live in a residential, not a high rise, but it's like 19th floor. So there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of different kinds of people. And then I went downstairs to the lobby, and I felt the mood, and I was like, oh no, people are like anxious, and so yeah, I'm becoming realistic now. I just think that based on what I learned from 2016, a lot of people vote privately, like based on their taxes. Like I was shocked. I have an uncle who lived in Michigan, where Amer, not in Dearborn, but he's an Arab man who lives in Michigan, and he voted for Trump.
I am fully ready to wake up tomorrow and have Kanye as president. That's what I'm going to say. I'm ready. He had a great album. The last one wasn't that great, but I'm ready for me president. Let's do it.
Wait, I don't want to out your uncle. Was it your uncle that you said, Suzie? Like, what did he say?
See, this is why I think that type of voter voted more against Hillary than for Trump. He said that I voted, and we asked him, we said, why did you vote for him? And he said, because Hillary created ISIS. I mean, this is an Arab man who's an immigrant, and he believed the Fox News, and he doesn't watch Fox News. He watches like Arabic news channels. But there are a lot of, this is interesting, because my family is Christian, right? So there's a lot of Christian Arabs who voted for Trump because he stoked their Islamophobia. I think Islamophobia was a factor for him, huge.
Yeah, my parents were way less smart about it. They were like, we vote for Trump because we hate pantsuits. That's it. They had no love for pantsuits.
Your parents vote for Trump.
Well, my parents are Canadian citizens, so actually can't even really vote. So it's but they hate pantsuits. So we know that.
That's fair. Is it? No, I'm not going to be. I don't want to be too controversial. I don't want to take a strong stance on pantsuits one way or the other.
We heard it. You heard it here first. Oh my God.
Wait, is Tom still here with us? I don't know. My screen, I lost him on my screen. I don't know. And maybe he's like lost him. Okay, he's disappeared. Anyway, so I'm talking to you two, which is great. So let me ask you this one more thing before we get to the top of the hour. I don't know, like I was interested in this question about like 2016 and how you all saw it, because I do think that there is like something that happened in 2016 where there is a story that a lot of, I'll be honest, like white Americans like tell ourselves about what America is and like how we engage with the political process and what is okay and what isn't okay. And I think that the 2016 result for a lot of us like really shattered that like mythology about like what is America all about. And that is the piece that I'm wondering if that was like, to someone who maybe didn't grow up with that mythology the same way, would be like, yeah, no, that was all kind of like hooey to begin with.
We didn't realize how angry rural America was. We had no concept. All of us city people, so many Americans live in cities. We're just like, yeah, it's all city life. And we just discounted the whole rising anger of the rural heartland that really won Trump his election. And so it's the term was echo bubble 4 years ago. That was the big term being thrown around. And we were just all up in that. And that's how it was. Our bubble had a couple of different races, but no one who was, spitting in a can and eating tobacco and driving a Tundra. We didn't have those people in our lives. And those are the people who kind of came up out of nowhere and got Trump his seat.
Yeah.
Excellent point, Suzie. Excellent point. Yes.
I want to make this about Palestine, but I kind of saw it.
What?
Netanyahu is a lot like Trump, right? We can agree that he's a lot like Trump. He's like a populist, and he appeals to people's feelings. And so for a long time, during Obama's years, I noticed that there's a lot of liberal Israelis that are moving to Manhattan, to the Upper West Side, and I noticed that these people are super liberal, super pro-Palestinian. Like I remember when Netanyahu won, I was walking to pick up my son, and this Jewish mom was like, "I'm so sorry, I'm Jewish." So these people are the liberal Americans who are shocked that the majority of their country, would like someone like Trump or Netanyahu. And so in the case of Israel, they went really right. And so I think that's what's the phrase? Like a bellwether, it was an example. And so I wasn't super surprised in 2016.
Listen, excellent point. Also, Tane, Palestine is an area right next to Israel. It's not highly contested, by the way. Just so you know, it's not
related to Pakistan.
It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing.
Got it. Okay, good. Solid. All right, I am going to take a pause in our conversation right here because it is the top of the hour, which means that it is one more time, first of all, to welcome folks who maybe are just joining us because they got sick of Wolf Blitzer's beard slowly graying and now are tuning into this very special program, Amreeka Comedy Election Night Special. I am Tane Danger. I'm here at the historic Bryant Lake Bowl in Minneapolis. We are talking the election with three fabulous comedians as well as the cast of the Theater of Public Policy. This is all a program put together by the Weizmann Art Museum at the University of Minnesota, for whom we are incredibly grateful. I am drinking all night Finnegan's beer because Finnegan's is our beer sponsor. Thank you so much to Finnegan's for being a big supporter. And right now, I am excited because if you're just tuning in, we do have a correspondent in the field who is giving us live updates from across America on this, the night that we choose our leaders, big election night in the United States. Heather Meyer of the Theater of Public Policy, we sent her out on assignment to get a flavor of what is going on in this country. And right now I'm excited via satellite. Heather Meyer, thank you so much for being here. Where are you reporting from tonight? Wow, does this polling place have beer?
I'm in Munich, Germany.
Wait, okay, so I don't understand. You're in Munich. Why are you in Munich, Germany?
Because you know what? Even though Oktoberfest was canceled because of COVID, I needed to come here and find out. So I found myself some beer and I'm celebrating Oktoberfest.
Okay, so we sent you out, just to be clear to everyone at home, to get a flavor of America. Oh wow, you got a double fisting there. You got two different beers.
Yeah.
Are they both Oktoberfests?
They are.
Oh, and a glass of beer. A third glass of beer.
Yeah, this one's in a wine glass because that's how they do it in Germany.
Okay. Is there something that is happening in this, several days past due Oktoberfest that you are in that will tell us something about the United States on election day?
Well, fun fact, Oktoberfest, even though it was canceled, is over. So I got myself a time machine, which I'm going to climb back in and dial it back or forward, somewhere better than now.
Okay. That is fair. You have room for two.
Yep.
Okay. This is good. Well, Heather, please be safe. I know you got 3 beers that, wow. Okay, 3 beers there at a Munich German fest that you are at, Oktoberfest. You're going to check in with us at least one more time tonight, I believe. You have one more.
I got places to go and facts to give.
Okay, so you're going to have one more report from America about what is going on this election night. And please drive safe. I hope that you're not
I
driving.
flew here, Tane.
Okay, please fly safely. All right, live from Oktoberfest, reporting live, everybody. Heather Meyer, big round of applause. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna come back to the panel here for a second. And we Amer's back, so thank you. So we've been chatting about. I've been learning a lot about Palestine, Pakistan. They're different. So I kind of want to go back to this piece that you were talking about, Usama, about that we're like very siloed. Like we aren't talking to folks like outside of our own bubbles. Like I feel like I've heard people saying that for like 4 years or even like 6 or 8 years. And then I don't know if we any of us actually do go and talk to people who are like outside our bubble.
We try to, and it's on Thanksgiving usually when the uncle says some things, and we're like, and we run away. We go back to our room. I think we need to stay at that table and have a conversation. That's the one time a year you get some exposure to anything right-wing, even remotely. Sit your ass down, listen to Uncle Harry, sift through the N-word a couple of times. It's fine. It's not fine, but he's, there's also bad points in between those, Tane, as well.
Yeah.
So make sure you sit down, talk to these people, and not just discount them, because that kind of energy yields more anger than connection, and it creates very intense electoral maps.
I don't know, Amer, I'm wondering if like you're our like resident professor this evening. You are our educator in residence, and I'm wondering, like, do you feel like there's this gap, like we don't do a good job talking to each other, like, and we can fix that somehow, or is it something else?
I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is that we're all just too dumb. America's the dumbest country in the world. It's not me saying it. The UN does studies, and they find out that Americans rank last in everything: reading, writing, math. I mean, it's really, really a problem. That's why we wanted free college under the Bernie campaign. Like, we need to learn. We just get taught lies. I mean, they tell us Columbus discovered America. He got lost, actually. He never even came to America. We have a game show in America. Let me tell you something. If you want to understand any society, you watch their game shows. And ever watch like a German or Japanese game show? Okay, it's the dumbest stuff you've ever seen in your life, because it's like adults walking through Jell-O and throwing eggs at each other. Because a game show is an escape from reality. All right, you live a serious life. You want to do stupid stuff when you get home, or watch stupid stuff. But what are American game shows? Like, pick a letter and spell a word. Or, answer hard questions. Like, we think knowledge is amazing, so we have to give it millions of dollars. Like, our escape from reality is intelligence. Do you understand the problem? Okay, we have a game show in America, as you all know, called Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Okay, I'm sure you've all seen this game show. You go on this game show. You're an adult, by the way. You go on this game show and you answer questions from the first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. If you answer all the questions from the fifth grade correctly, do you know what you win? $1 million for answering questions from the fifth grade. 1 million. And guess what? Nobody wins. Okay, this is America. We need to understand the problems that we have. Let me tell you a statistic that should scare the hell out of you, other than maybe Trump winning tonight. But let me tell you a statistic that should scare the hell out of you. There have been 250 episodes of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? 2 winners in the history of the show. Two winners. Now, who are these 2 people? Let me tell you. The first one was the superintendent of schools for the entire state of Georgia. So she already knows the questions that are on the show. Okay. The second one was a Nobel Prize winner in physics. Okay, these were the only 2 Americans capable of winning Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Do you understand the problem? Okay, am I describing the depths of the problem accurately? In America, if you're smarter than a fifth grader, we give you $1 million. In Germany, if you're smarter than a fifth grader, you go to the 6th grade. That's it. There's no prize. All right. And so this is the world that we're living in. We need to solve that problem. Talking to each other doesn't mean anything if everyone doesn't know what the hell they're talking about.
Well, I feel like, yeah, there would be a big round of applause right there if we were, I assume there's a big round of applause that Dennis is piping in via special effects. Suzie, you're the only one who has, I believe, or I don't know, maybe you all have kids as well, but I know, Suzie, you've got a kid at home are you training your kid to be smarter than a fifth grade? I don't know. I don't actually even know what age your kid is. But you must be taking on a whole new role this year with being sort of the parent and the teacher this year.
Look, it's hard to be an immigrant parent anyways, because you got to transfer your culture, your language, your values, and you're swimming against the tide because he wants to be American because he's Americans have snacks and bean bags and we don't have snacks and bean bags. But just to add to what Amer was saying, every time I order groceries online and they send me parsley instead of cilantro, I tell my husband, look, this is America. They don't know the difference between cilantro and parsley. These are the people who vote Trump in. That's I totally agree with Amer. I think that as we see sort of the level of intelligence that liberal white people have been in a bubble and they don't see it.
Wow. Yeah.
They don't know what we're talking about.
How old are your kids?
So I have a 13-year-old and a baby. And the baby doesn't really talk yet. He just learned the word yes today. And the 13-year-old, it's a challenge because the standards are I think his school is very good middle school, but it doesn't have a high standards.
Oh, so and so are you, doing it at home? Do you give him pop quizzes?
Yeah. I'm always making him watch BBC News and make him read articles. But he says that my problem is that I make it always about Palestine. Any issue on the news somehow ends up about Palestine.
Go on. I want to see this.
That's his accusation of me, but it's true. Everything relates to Palestine. I don't know, Amer, do you think we're self-absorbed because we've been on TV for so long that we're like the Kardashians?
Well, I think 72 years of occupation can mess you up psychologically. I mean, it has an effect on you. I answer questions sometimes that I find myself just subconsciously answering questions in a way that doesn't make any sense. For instance, somebody said to me the other day, are you Jewish? And I said, no, the opposite. Which that doesn't even mean anything, but it just came out of my mouth. 72 years of occupation, messes you up. So, I mean, I just don't know, I mean, I applied for a job, a few years ago, and somebody said to me in the interview, they go, do you have a current occupation? And I was like, yes, Israeli, so I mean, I just don't know how to deal with all the trauma. So yes, everything is about Palestine when you're Palestinian. And why shouldn't it be? I mean, they stole our land and, they're still living in our houses. So, I mean, it's pretty traumatic, so I mean, yeah, everything is about Palestine. I'm glad that Palestine is dominating the Minnesota election night special.
I know. That's what people tuned in for. 100%. I actually want to follow up on this more, but I have to. I'm my only job here tonight is to try and keep this program going, and I'm supposed to turn the stage over right now to Usama to do his stand-up set right now. So I hope that you are ready for this. I am super excited for this. So just to give him his full due so that everybody has lots of reason to clap, you've seen him on BET, America's Got Talent. He has been part of the Just for Laughs comedy tour. Wherever you are, please make a big round of applause for this very funny man, Usama Siddiquee, everybody. Yay!
Hello, what's up? Yes, we're talking about dumb TV shows. I was on the dumbest TV show of all time, America's Got Talent. That is if we're talking about how dumb America is, it's the crux of every dumb American in one place. It's pure emotion. It's pure tragedy. The sadder your story, it doesn't matter actually if you're good. It's how sad is your story. That's America now. It's all melancholy. It's saccharine. It's make me cry or make me horny. That's it. That's all. I can't think anymore. That's America. Listen, I'm telling you, we were smarter 15 years ago when America's Got Talent started. The backstories were manageable. sad-wise. They were just like, my parents are divorced. It's tough. Now, the backstory is like, hi, I have no limbs, and my dream is to be a dancer. What? And they're like, Usama, what's your backstory? I'm like, my mom said do med school, and I was like, fuck you. How about that? Doesn't work. The one lady, they were like, what would you do if you win the money? She's like, help my mom's leukemia. Okay. And they were like, Usama, what are you going to do if you win the money? I was like, well, I walk dogs for a living. If I win the money, I can walk less dogs for a living. That'll be nice. And as I'm saying that, in the camera background is the limbless dancer doing the worm. Okay. So it's tough. So I'm going to say, listen, Tane, I tried to bolster my own sad story to make myself more a part of the show. I tried it. I was in the mix. I was in the American mix. So they were like, Usama, what's your story? And I was like, it was tough growing up as an orphan in India. Yeah. Had one red loincloth to my name, and I was raised by wolves. They were like, you're just doing the plot to Jungle Book. I'm like, hey, that's racist. Okay. Wow. All I'm saying, man, is that we're going crazy, Tane. Even the media is dumb as hell. Muslims still get anti-Muslim bias in the media. Muslim guy jaywalks. They're like, local Taliban leader. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, white dude shoots up a whole school. They're like, frequent soup kitchen volunteer. It's like, enough, Tane. You know, one time for Dylan Roof, they called him, I swear to God, they called him I think CNN, they called him a homegrown violent extremist. How are you going to make a terrorist sound like a Whole Foods item? Okay? Listen, he's homegrown. Okay? Listen, he grew up in the same place he shot up, so he's also locally sourced. Okay? So locally sourced. And you know what? The authorities have not caught him. So he's also cage-free. How about that, huh? Talk about it. I mean, he is 13, so he does have hormones, but I mean, it's brutal. And you know, Tane, I'm from Texas, you know, and not I'm from Plano. It can get a little, you know, those Muslims who are a little too much. Sorry, the rednecks who are a little too much, who are like, you know what, I ain't wearing face masks. That's just a sideways hijab. All right? Nah, you know what? When the GPS tells me to go east, I go west. I ain't going to Mecca. Fuck that shit. And you know what? You know, I don't even eat cranberries no more. Because you can't say cranberries without first saying Quran. Okay? How they get you. All right? Eat a couple cranberries. Next thing you know, you're hijacking planes. All right? Not on my watch. Trump. They don't even say Trump 2020. They say Trump. This is the level. Trump. It's no longer words, Tane. I will say this, and these are the people, and Tane, you look horrified. I'm telling you, this is real America. This is real America, Tane. There are racists in Texas who, they do the crouch thing. Most hate, I don't know if you know this, comes from the hips, okay? So as you're walking, they're like, hey, how about take your shit and get the fuck, here's the thing, you know, angry racists, when they're angry, their heads look like pigeons, okay? It's like, take your shit and get I'm telling you, just giving you the heads up. Tane looks terrified. Listen, Palestine versus Pakistan. Are you gonna be okay, Tane? Minnesota. The only minority you've seen is a Somalian. There's more out there, buddy. It's not just Somalians and white people, okay? Oh my God. You're great, guys. You're great. My name really, I mean, it's because Trump is wild. It's a wild situation, you know? And my name's Osama in a Trump environment, which is just hilarious already, you know? And no relation, obviously. My mom was terrified after 9/11. She was like, Osama, do you want to change your name to something a little less Muslim? And I swear to God, she said, how about Hussein? Very lateral move, Mom. Okay? Hussein. I was thinking more Brian, you know? Gregory. Tane would be nice. I'd take a Tane, actually. I was like, Mom, I need a whiter name so bullies won't whoop my ass in school. Swear to God, she was like, how about Waldo? Waldo, Mom, I'd rather you name me ISIS, okay? Waldo, people would whoop my ass just so they could do the joke where they're like, where's Waldo?
That's right.
So no on that. It's just a little crazy, you know? I mean, I don't want to hate on, we're doing a lot of white people jokes here, Tane, you know? It's just a little, you can take it, I know, but you do have an American flag in the background, so we don't know what your leanings are, you know? I mean, here's the thing. I will say this. A lot of people doing 23andMe right now. The 23andMe DNA testing. A lot of crazy thing happening there. White dudes do get goofy with the 23andMe. One of my white friends got back 3% Iranian. Next day, he bought a hookah lounge. Okay, it's the whitest guy I know. Now he's like, "Hello, my friend. How are you doing?" I'm like, "Your name's Dylan." He's like, "It's pronounced Dylan." Okay, and this is my wife, Jennifer. Okay. You know what? Stop talking. Here, have some hummus. I'm like, "That's hummus. That's a bowl of mayonnaise, Dylan." All right. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Yes, it's Hellman's hummus. What are you talking? My brother did his 23andMe, and I wondered. I was like, "How brown am I, Susie? How brown am I?" And 23andMe was like, "You are 7-11% brown." Okay. Oh my God, you are brown. And my mom was like, "How brown am I?" And 23andMe was like, "You are 9-11% brown." Okay. Oh my God. Tane, are you with me? Tane.
Oh, there.
Are you with me? Tane. Am I booked on the next year's election? Am I booked on
I'm pretty sure this is the last one.
forever in terms of America? Yeah, sure. Oh my God. I mean, look, weird stuff happens to me, Tane. I'm not gonna lie. Just in life, one time I was at JFK Airport, and I was in line, and a friend I had not seen in years sees me from across the airport, and he screams my name in the airport, just straight up, just like, "Oh my God, it's Osama!" Is there a worse thing you can scream in an airport? Then he makes it worse. He's like, "Oh my God, I thought you were dead." Dude. Dude, I haven't seen you since September. What's going on, buddy? Oh my God, where have you been hiding? So I'm freaking out. Every TSA officer looking at me with that face that says Guantanamo Bay, right? So I'm like, "All right, let me diffuse situation. Let me show my friend I recognize him." So I gave my friend one of these. But Tane, this looks less like an "I know you" and more like "the plan is a go." Yeah. He was like, "Osama." I was like, "Commence operation." Okay. Tane, I'm getting you against your own will. I'm getting you. Brianna Boyce, how you feeling? Yeah? Okay. She's like, "Keep going, buddy. Do not talk to me." Holy shit. But yeah, I mean, it's just tough being a Muslim in America. It's just like, I just think, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I just want to say insane shit and see what it is in sign language. Platypus. What is okay, that's number 5. Brianna, I think you're full of shit, actually. I'm not sure if this is real. Because I said platypus and you were like,
yeah, because you spell it all out. There's no.
Oh, you're doing the letters. Brianna, you're amazing. Listen, Tane, we're just having a good time. I'm not trying to actually attack her. Oh my God. Come on. I love Brianna. It is, I want to say the craziest stuff now. It's just like, so I was fucking this girl.
No.
Just kidding. Tane, just kidding. Of course. Tane, are you with me? Stay with me, Tane. I'm still a panelist. We got to talk afterwards. Yeah. Okay.
Susie looked to see if her son was still watching.
I called him. Now I'm waiting.
We'll cool it off. But yeah, it's just a little crazy because I feel like, here's the thing. It's not Christian versus Muslim. I will say this. Christianity is Islam light a little bit, Christians are all like, "Oh, I got to go to church next week." Once a week, bro. Try praying 5 times a day, going to the mosque, doing a pilgrimage in a different continent. Just by being a shitty Muslim, I'm already a devout Christian. Okay? Listen, Tane, if I die right now, I'm going to Muslim hell. And then I'm going to walk into Catholic heaven. Okay? I swear to God, I'm going to go to Muslim Judgment Day. They're like, "Bro, you fucked up. You're terrible out there." Then I go into Catholic Judgment Day. They're like, "Welcome back, Jesus." Oh my God, where have you been? Where have you been, buddy? We missed you. Listen, Tane, got a little crazy at parts, but I love you. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.
That was a big round of applause. Everybody, that was great. No, you were very good. That was good. I don't know what this is my first time working with our American Sign Language interpreters, and I haven't done sort of a boundaries check with them.
All love to the sign languages. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are incredible. Thank you so much.
So here's the big question that I wanted to ask you all, like before we were going into the second set with our improv cast, which is like you all are talking about like some really challenging, hard stuff, right? In terms of like being how hard it is to like be a Muslim or an immigrant in the United States, and you know, the real challenges and problems that you see with the United States. What is it about comedy that like you can do that kind of conversation differently than, you know, if we were to just sort of be like, I'd like to present to you tonight how life is hard for people like me?
Well, comedy's amazing because it gets more white people uncomfortable. That's the thing. A lecture is fine and everyone's good, but I think good comedy should get the power of ruling class a little weird in their seats, a little kind of, a little like this. I think that's very important. I don't think if you're doing that, you're not really saying anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think comedy is like, it disarms, right? But also, if you make people laugh, they listen to you. We got stuff to say, you know. I actually think the hardest job in the world is like white male comic. Even though they get all the comedy specials, it's still like the hardest job. Like, what is there to talk about? I mean, you're white. Your life is pretty uneventful. And, you know, I don't really want to hear anything about it. Yeah, I mean, it's like they boil hot dogs for dinner. You know, I mean, what is there to...
You know, I woke up and everything was fine. That's the whole set.
Yeah, right. I woke up, we were still in charge. You know, I mean, what is there? What, I didn't get pulled over. You know, I walked right through TSA. You know, I mean, I knew how easy it was to be white when one time I was in the airport with some friends of mine just to see how like entitled they were. And they went through TSA first and they went right through, and I went through and I got extra screening, and my white friends looked back at the TSA officials and go, "He's with us. He's with us." And I got through. I mean, it was amazing.
Listen, Amer, white people have problems. Sometimes they're at the Apple store, there's a long line. Okay, so you can't just say there's nothing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. No, of course, no.
Suzie, I mean, you're a comedian and a storyteller, and so I know like a lot of your stories are funny, but you have like some very poignant stories as well. Like, I don't know, how do you think about like when is the right time to use comedy? When is the right time to like use, I don't know, more like emotion-driven story or something like that for what you're trying to get across?
Yeah, so I like Usama said, when they get uncomfortable, I that's when I use comedy. And sometimes the comedy makes them even more uncomfortable, but it's okay because we need to be a little uncomfortable. Like yesterday I did a show and this like American Jewish guy, like I did the settlements joke about my thighs like hopelessly expanding. And he's like, I'm so uncomfortable laughing at that. I feel like that's like that joke where Dave Chappelle walked out about the show and felt like he got the wrong laugh. And I'm like, no, it's okay. You're supposed to feel uncomfortable. Like, I want you to feel uncomfortable, then go home and research the Israeli settlements and learn more about it. And so I find that with the difference, like with storytelling, also has to have humor. Like otherwise, I lose the audience. I think it's much sort of easier to just be serious, but it's much harder to be funny. Or like.
I totally buy this. Like, I totally get this. I am going to quote like another famous white person, Bob Newhart. You know, but like he has made like I very much remember him making this point that like people when they see you doing comedy, they're like, oh well, you're just being yourself, so there's like no work to that. As opposed to if you're doing drama, then you like have to like put some sort of effort into it. And he was like, no, that's garbage. Like comedy's what's really hard here. Like, cause you have to figure out how to like translate these things that are in your head into something that people will both understand and laugh at.
And our kind of comedy, like Usama and Amer and I, like we're trying to educate. Like if you really see the undertones, it's all about like, I think when I first write a joke, it's not funny. Like it's like very serious. And then I try to find like the pop culture references and the stuff to like I you know how when they told people about the moon, and I heard this comedian say that like they must have found other things on the moon, but they only told them about the water because they're just too dumb to understand anything else. And that's how we do. Like we're really not saying everything that we want to say. We're still like dumbing it down.
Comedy is so hard because it is the least lofty art form. If you're an artist, you can sort of be up your own energy and people will be like, oh, what a genius this man is. Or, you can do music that's almost not hearable and be like, oh, what a unique man. There's no room for weirdness that isn't relatable in comedy. The setup has to bring people in and relate to them, or else you're not going to get a laugh. So the success of every moment of our art depends on you relating to a mass group of people, which I think no other art form has the requirement to that much relatability over that in that much frequency. And so that's why it's just kind of like it's a very tough job to bring people in, and especially topics that aren't really in your purview. If we talk about dating, everyone knows it's all good. You want to bring people in, disparate people into a Palestine set. What Suzie does is amazing because she brings people in, universalizes a very specific experience, which is in comedy even harder to do than other art forms.
Amer, do you feel the same way that you feel like your comedy is underlying it is an attempt to educate, to get people to think about something that they wouldn't otherwise?
Well, I mean, you got to be funny first, right? But I mean, it is a very effective way to sort of convey a narrative of our lives as people of color, or especially as Arabs and Muslims in America. And it's a unique art form because it's the only art form, at least that I know of, that needs an audience. Like, it can't exist without an audience. You can't just do it on a camera at home without people. Even like this, we need each other as an audience of 2 or 3 to even know that something's funny or working or whatever. Anything else can be done. That's why, especially, I don't know me. I mean, I'm like dying to get on a stage, and I'm worried that, I don't know when we ever will again in front of real people. And so that element of it, of that immediate sort of reaction to what you do, if you're a writer, you write something, you put it out, and maybe you become famous 10 years later. Or if you're a musician, you make a recording and you see how people react to it. Comedy is like immediate, on stage, and there is no practice. The only practice is actually doing things in front of people. So I mean, to me, that's what makes it beautiful, that sort of interaction with people, and getting to convey your story. And I don't know, I mean, I assume for Usama and Suzie, it's the same thing, where for us it's kind of therapeutic too. I mean, if we weren't doing this, I mean, I don't know what kind of criminal I would be if I was not doing this. I mean, it would be something really terrible. And so, I think it's important, the role that it serves. And, especially when I go do comedy in the Arab world, I do comedy in Palestine all the time. I do a comedy festival in Palestine every year. We didn't do it this year, obviously, but even, stand-up comedy is a new thing in the Arab world, but now it's becoming bigger because a lot of us are going there and showing that art form as a way to express yourself, and it's becoming big there too. So, I mean, it's a very important part of American culture, and I think that we have to keep sharing with other people in America through our stories as people of color, but also around the world as well. And you know what? I think next time I do my comedy festival in Palestine, I'm going to bring Usama and Suzie with me. Tane, you can stay in Minnesota, but the rest of you can come with me to Palestine.
Can I zoom in and just chuckle over the camera every once in a while?
Yeah, I guess that's fine.
I want to see him go on up in Gaza Strip, going like, "What up, Pakistanis? How y'all doing?"
That's right. I mean, I only bring white people to Palestine if they agree to apologize the whole time they're there. Just have to apologize to all the Palestinians for the colonialism and racism and $4 billion of taxpayer money a year. So if you're willing to apologize every Palestinian you meet, Tane, I'm more than happy to take you there.
I don't want to brag, but Minnesotans are very good at apologizing. I am sorry.
Good. You are actually sorry about how good you are.
I am sorry, but I'm going to turn the stage over to the cast of the Theater of Public Policy one more time. So if you're just tuning in, the cast of the Theater of Public Policy is our improv comedy team based here in Minneapolis. Their job is to take things that we've talked about, things related to the election, anything really that they're thinking about, and turn it into entirely unscripted improv comedy. So everything they do is entirely made up on the spot. Yes is the answer to your question, Amer. And I'm going to just say the Theater of Public Policy, right now, everything they do totally made up on the spot. So please, wherever you are, do a big round of applause for the Theater of Public Policy, everybody.
All right, Alexis.
Hey, what's going on there, Denzel?
Are you ready?
Something like this. I'll tell you.
We're going to Palestine.
What's that?
We're going to Palestine.
Well, okay, we're going. Okay, can we go to Texas first? Because I did a 23andMe and I'm pure Texan.
Okay.
I want to
Whoa.
pack a backpack, but you go first. I feel like you had something more important. That sounds kind of like a bigger deal. Palestine.
I actually don't know which one would be the bigger deal. I feel like Palestine was our way out, but your thing is more in.
I don't know. I feel like either way we'll be like severely oppressed, but whatever. I feel like it's an experience everywhere, and we could try some things either way and check it out. Is this okay? Do you think if I talk like this in Palestine, I would be accepted?
See, here's my hope, right? We go to Palestine, and because we don't look classically American, we might fit in. I'm not for sure.
No
but
more.
all I'm saying is, if we're going to Texas, I hope we're going to Austin.
Hey, Brandon, I have a dilemma. I'm both sad and horny at the same time.
Jesus. Wow. I mean, that's quite a range.
I know.
But I can help you with this.
Okay, well, let me tell you what happened. I mean, I was kicked out of my house when I was 15, and I lived in a cardboard box. But then I'm also attracted to you. So.
Wow, you're laying it on pretty thick.
It gets
sad
worse.
Sad and horny. I think I can, two birds this. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah. So why don't I just start doing this? Does this help? Is this making you happy and less horny, or more, or?
It makes me more horny, but I'm sadder because I thought you'd have more chest hair. So.
Okay. Oh, Jim, so glad you can make it.
Yeah, I just want to say before we do anything else, I am so sorry about the last scene. As an American, I'm sorry.
Well, that's actually kind of why we wanted you to be here. Denzel?
Yeah,
Sorry, apologize. I'm not sure where to go with it.
Yeah, we did hear back from Canada, and 2 of us will be going.
Only 2.
Only 2. And they were looking to really spice up Canada, if you will.
Like flavor.
Yeah.
I took 2 semesters of French.
Ooh.
I just want to say that, whatever you may think about me, I don't eat boiled hot dogs multiple times a week. I have a little salt and pepper on them every now and then. They're not completely plain.
Completely plain, but okay, so just salt and pepper, but what about other spices? You do eat the boiled hot dogs, though. We're
totally. I'll have them with something spicy, like ketchup. Sometimes that's usually good. But not too much. A little too hot.
Okay, here's the thing, Brandon. I don't typically date white guys, and I don't typically date guys. But I've taken a chance on you, and I cannot have you come over to my family's dinner, and I can't have you cooking.
But I mean, I don't have to cook that much. I just have to bring a side. I'm not doing the full Thanksgiving turkey. I'm just.
No, you're not really. I don't want you to do any of it. Last time you tried to suggest a potato salad and that you would add raisins.
Yeah. I mean, they're good. they don't add a little crunch. It's more about, the texture.
Yeah, okay. See, and that's the problem. Is I feel like you think you're being creative, and I just think you're being white. Do you know what I mean? Like plain, like bland.
See, I'm getting the plain and bland stuff, but we're not talking about the good qualities of being white. My cachet, the benefits.
Okay, but you're feeling like entitled to hearing like the good stuff, and you don't want to hear the real stuff. I feel like is kind of the issue.
So raisins are real. That's what you mean. The raisins that I put in everything.
They're real. They're like real nasty and.
Hey, Brandon, Denzel, hey.
Jim,
Hey.
Denzel.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that whatever happens tonight, I'm there for you. Whatever you need.
I want you to know that whatever happens tonight, I'm there for one of you.
And I want you to know that whatever happens tonight, it's too close to call.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the cast of the Theater of Public Policy. Now, please welcome back to the virtual stage your host for this evening, Tane Danger.
Yay! Big round of applause, the Theater of Public Policy. Actually, just been last episode tonight, so I want to make sure that we give them a proper send-off. So wherever you are, please do a big round of applause for our cast of the Theater of Public Policy this evening. Big round of applause. I'm seeing Denzel.
Yes.
Brandon Boat, Alexis Camille, and Dr. Jim Robinson. Hey, they are fantastic. If you enjoyed this, please check out Theater of Public Policy on the Twitter and the YouTube and the Facebook and all of the places. The Theater of Public Policy. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so happy to have gotten to spend this time with you all. You all be well, be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night, you all. All right. With that, I'm actually going to immediately just transition over to our third comedian for this evening. I am super excited for this. He is a speaker, writer, academic, professor of law. He performed all over the world, as we've already heard about, including in Carnegie Hall and the John F. Kennedy Center. And we heard about before he goes and does comedy in Palestine every year. So without further applause, live from, and I hope that I'm getting this right, the Mango Hookah Bar in Deerfield. Is that right?
Dearborn.
Please, a big round of applause for Amer Zahr, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dearborn, Michigan. I'm so happy to be coming to you all from here, Dearborn, Michigan. If you watch Fox News, Dearborn, Michigan is a major flashpoint in America on Fox News. A lot of people say that we have Sharia law here. That's not true. There is no Sharia law. There's a bunch of ham shops, a bunch of churches, and from my count, personally, at least 5 strip clubs. And there is no Sharia law. The only Sharia law I have ever seen here in Dearborn, Michigan is that the strip clubs serve halal chicken. That is the only, and I can't blame them. You got to know your customers. You got to know your customers. There's just customer service. That means, by the way, an Arab guy walks into the strip club one day and goes, "Hey, can I get that girl I had last week? The one with the big. I think her name was Champagne." And another question and one more question: is the chicken religiously certified halal? Because if it's not, I don't think I can eat it. That happens at every strip club in Dearborn every single night. But I've been watching my fellow comedians tonight. I mean, it's just an honor to be with all of them. Suzie, our wonderful friend there, a Palestinian friend from New York. Obviously, English as a second language. She called the sign language, and she called the sign language interpreter a translator. She goes, I'm really looking at the sign language translator. You know, I know, Suzie, you've needed a lot of translators in your life, but it's an interpreter. In English, we call them interpreters, sign language interpreters. I also love how the only non-Arab guy here is named Osama. I mean, my name's Amer, her name is Suzie, and the guy who's not Arab is named Osama. By the way, if you want to learn a little bit of Arabic, his name is Usama Siddiquee, which means in Arabic, Osama is my friend. I mean, that's literally what his name means in Arabic. So, I mean, you know, if any white people want to feel comfortable, it's been a lot of fun. But I love to cook. Actually, I watch the Food Network all the time. Food Network, which is totally made for white people, by the way. I mean, if you notice, there's almost never any brown people on the Food Network. And you can tell, I mean, you know, the Food Network, you ever see the reactions on the Food Network, how amazed they are by the simplest, you know, just think, what is this in here? Salt and pepper? Really? I mean, it just changes everything. They're just amazed by Emeril Lagasse made a whole career out of adding garlic to things. Okay. I mean, like, you know, that's like a Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night in my house. You know, you can see how food is made for what, you know, like you go to have commercials for spice packets on TV in America, spice packet. My mom would never buy a spice packet. Okay, she makes Hamburger Helper is a spice packet. That's all it is. It's just a spice packet. My mom and any brown mom would not be caught dead buying Hamburger Helper from the store. My mom would never buy Hamburger Helper. I help the hamburger. Okay, that's all. I help the hamburger. I don't need the hamburger. But I mean, listen, we live here in America. A lot of you might not know, we just had the census. Arabs are still considered to be white people under the census, but we're not white. I've been trying to have this campaign. I made a documentary movie called We're Not White, if anyone wants to go watch it on YouTube. We're not white. We deserve our own box. Do you guys all agree out there? Arabs deserve our own box. We deserve our own box. You know, I want to start a rally right here tonight at the Amreeka Election Night 2020, coming to you straight from Dearborn in Minnesota. We're not white. Say it with me. We're not white. That's right. We deserve our own box, because I grew up with white people, okay? And we're different. We're different. White people are just more honest than we are. We're just a little bit more like, you know, we speak in lies as compliments, and, you know, we're just different group of people. We're just different. White people are too honest. Okay, for all the brown people watching, like Osama, you got to be very careful. If you go to your white friend's house and his mom asks you if you're hungry, if you say no, she actually doesn't bring you anything to eat, right? It's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. And they start eating around you. Well, you said you weren't hungry, you know. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I don't know if the brown people out there know this. Do you know that when white people go to the grocery store, they come home, they put away their groceries, and then they take their bags and they throw them away? Yeah, not in my house. Okay, in my house, there was a bag full of bags. All right, it goes in the little space between the refrigerator and the wall. My mom just stuffs it in there like that. My friends used to ask me, like, why are you coming to lunch with a Kroger bag? I'm like, we got a lot of bags. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you know, that's what my mom says. You know, we bought the bag too. That's what my mom says. You know, so I mean, we are different. We're not white. We buy houses different than white people. White people buy houses with just different logic. You know, white guy walks into a neighborhood. Are the taxes low? Are the neighborhoods safe? Are the schools good? Not us. We have different standards by which we buy houses. You know, yes, it's a very beautiful house. I like it a lot. How far is Costco? Different standards for us. All right. I mean, we love Costco. And let me tell you how I really know we're not white. All right, I know we're not white because I watch the news. Now, for those of you who don't know, Arabs, we watch the news all the time. All right, it's like a social activity for us. We call our friends over, we make popcorn, we drink coffee, and we watch the news because we're on it. All right, it's like our TV show. All right, it's like where we're gonna see us the most. And I know we're not white because okay, so there's like mass shootings in America all the time, right? Unfortunately, and it's always a white guy. All right, I mean, white guys are like 33% of the population, and like 95% of mass. They are overperforming in the mass shooter category. I mean, they're like doing very well in the mass shooter category, and it's always a white guy. And what is that? You hear that?
That popping?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
I'm hoping that it's not gunshots outside of my theater, but I'm going to just mute my line and you keep going with your comedy. If I collapse to the floor, carry on.
I don't think it's your microphone. Oh, it was Osama's microphone. All right, but it just shows you how easy white guys have it when Tane can just so simply say, I think it might be gunshots outside my theater, just real simple, what a nice, simple life. But, I mean, I know we're not white because I watch the news. Now, they have different words they use for the white criminals on the news, disturbed, deranged, delusional, depressed, all these nice D words, kind of like Osama was talking about. But they have different words they use for us. What's the word they use for us? Terrorists. That's right. They call us. But there's another word they love to use for us, and that word is mastermind. For some reason, Arabs are always mastermind. Something about being Arab or Muslim makes you really smart. Mastermind. Remember the guy in Las Vegas? He planned his crime. He brought in ammo for like a week into the hotel. Then he waited till everybody was at the festival, and then he broke the window and he started shooting, and he wounded 500 people and he killed 60 more. And the next day on the news, they said the headline was he liked country music. That was the headline. Then there was Dylan Roof, who killed all the black people in the church. And when he got arrested, he told the cops he wants to start a race war between white people and black people. And the next day on the news, Lindsey Graham said he's just a little crazy. And then there was the kid in Parkland, Florida, who killed everybody on Valentine's Day, and then they got their hands on his mental health records. And for 2 weeks, CNN talked about depression. He's very depressed. And then there was one of us. Okay, in New York City 3 years ago, remember that guy? He rented a van in his own name. Okay, then he ran down the street, he ran over 10 people, jumped out of the van with a fake gun. And the police shot him and they arrested him. And CNN said they have caught the mastermind. Guy's not a fucking mastermind. All right, he's an idiot. All right. We have disturbed, deranged, delusional, depressed idiots just like everybody else. All right. And you ever notice when the white guy does it? When the white guy does it, they always go and like ask his neighbors about him, and his neighbors always say the same thing. We're so shocked by this. This is such a surprise to us. And then this is like my favorite white thing they say. We never thought this would happen in our community, even though their community is the only community this shit happens in. It doesn't happen in other communities. They're the community where this happens. We never thought this would happen. And by the way, white people have a different definition of a good neighbor. He's such a good neighbor. I haven't seen him for 5 years. They think that's an amazing neighbor. Okay, listen, I live in Dearborn, all right? My whole street is Arabs. If Khadija doesn't see Fatima for like 45 minutes, she calls the cops. I think she's dead. Somebody come over, okay? She's smoking on the front right now. I mean, we never thought this would happen in our community. What a nice white thing to be able to say. We never thought this would happen. Listen, I live on a street where 90% of my neighbors are Arab. When a doctor on my street gets arrested for 75 counts of Medicare fraud, when they interview me on CNN the next day, I do not say, I never thought that's exactly the kind of shit that I think would happen in my community because it happens all the time. And these guys are like, it never, you got to feel bad for white people, though. Osama talked about ancestry before, and you got to feel bad for white people because, in America, you used to come here and sort of forget where you came from, and then you just become American. But now in America, it's cool to be something, be something like, 1/16th black or 1/32nd Native American and all that kind of stuff. It's cool to be something. And white people, they aren't anything. So they take these ancestry.com tests because they just want to be and then they get back this pie chart that, and they get back this pie chart and they just pick their race, and, like Osama said, you ever seen these fucking Ancestry commercials before? It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Our whole life, we thought we were German. And then I took my Ancestry.com test and I found out that we were 21% Italian. And now we go to the Olive Garden and we eat spaghetti. It's like the dumbest stuff I've ever seen. I hear a lot of background. I don't know who's that. Maybe from Osama. I don't know where that's coming. A lot of background. Yeah, I hear a lot of background. Maybe it's Tane again. I mean, he's been a problem most of. There was one Ancestry.com commercial where there's this white lady standing in front of the camera, and she goes, "My name is Kim." And I took my Ancestry.com test, and what surprised me the most is I found out that I'm 26% Native American. I had no idea. Now, listen, I don't have a PhD in genetics or biology or anything like that, but 26%, that's a lot. Okay? That's like a whole grandparent. All right? Like, I know where my grandmother's from. She had no idea where And let me tell you something, by the way, if you're white and your grandmother is Native American and they didn't tell you, that is not a good story. Okay? Like, really messed up happened in your history. That's not a good story. I'm waiting for the Ancestry.com commercial where somebody is happy to find out that they're Arab. Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to see that commercial. I'm waiting for that commercial one day, Our whole life, we thought we were Puerto Rican. And then I took my Ancestry.com test, and I found out that we're 26% Arab. And now we go to the airport early. It's just dumb as you're never going to see it. Never. The last thing I'll say is this, for all the Arabs that might be watching, and even the Muslims around that might be watching that aren't Arab, stop changing your names for white people. People change their names and they think it's going to help, like Muhammad becomes Mo, Jamil becomes Jimmy, Hassan becomes Sam, Hussein becomes Sam, Samir becomes Sam, Samer becomes Sam. There's a lot of fucking Sams out there. We got too many Sams. Stop it, okay? Look, we got to learn their names. They got to learn our names, okay? White names are hard too. Brittany, Whitney, Mason, Madison, Taylor, Tyler. It's not easy to get all that shit straight. So to all the Arabs and Muslims out there, be proud of who you are. Don't change your names for anybody, okay? If your name is Osama, be Osama. If your name is Muhammad, be Muhammad. If your name is Fatima, be Fatima. If your name is Jihad, BJ, man, we got enough fucking problems. We do not any more problems in the world. I love you very much. Thank you to everybody there in Minnesota for putting this together. Thank you, Osama, Suzie, and everyone else in the improv team. Love you all. Please, please don't forget, we're not going to know who's president for another month. So everybody just chill out. It's going to be a long, long month. Thanks, everybody.
A big round of applause, everybody. Thank you so much. That was phenomenal. We are almost out of time for the evening, but before we go, I got to check in one more time with our correspondent out in America, filling us in on what's going on the ground on this important election night. So our correspondent in the field, Heather Meyer, everybody. Where are you right now? What?
Can't you read, Tane? Can't you read the signage?
I'm pretty sure that says North Pole, but we asked you to be in America somewhere.
Well, let me tell you, flights are hard right now. We're being COVID safe, so I was rerouted, and I landed in the North Pole because I said America, and I actually thought we were going to Antarctica, and I realized that's the South Pole. Anyway, here I am, and I'm starting my new country called North Polia. There's a lot of jobs in the winter making toys. Things seem cold, but you know what? I brought a shovel.
Okay.
Get on airplanes, and you know what? That's what I've got.
Okay, so so North Pole, you have just moved on. It is only 10 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone, but you've decided to set up shop in a whole other continent.
On a glacier that has some trees. I got a shovel and a lot of willpower, and I'm gonna dig a whole new world for all of us.
Okay, I'm gonna say like that. As someone from Minnesota, that does not look that different than what I am used to.
But it's different because it's North Polia.
Okay, and so I don't know if we have the rights to this, but are you going in competition against Santa Claus, or are you?
Everyone is welcome to be a citizen of North Polia. If that individual would like to bring their clout, they're certainly welcome. North Polia is not a competitive country.
Okay, that's good. It's just it's not competitive because you all are just making toys, sort of as just like.
We're also shoveling a lot. There's a lot of shoveling all the time. We got to move snow all the time.
Okay, well, this is good. If people want to join you in North Polia, how do we do that?
You just go up.
Just go up. Okay, I'll do it. All right, well, thank you, Heather Meyer. Good luck with the new country, the new land of North Polia. What do you eat in North Polia?
Snow.
Okay, delicious. All right, big round of applause, everybody. Thank you so much, Heather Meyer, from checking in all the way from the North Polia, the new country that she is setting up. Heather, you're amazing. You're great. I appreciate all of your work tonight. Sort of. Okay, that's good. She disappeared behind a shovel. Hey, we have 1 minute left, so I just want to check in one last time with our fabulous panel and say thank you to all three of you for being here. I mean, we kind of knew that we weren't going to actually get any like significant results tonight, which seems like that was one prediction that turned out to be true. Amer has suggested it might be a month, but let me just go around one last time. If you want to say goodbye, say any last things that are on your mind before we sign off tonight. Usama, what are you thinking about?
I don't have anything, but I'll say free Palestine to take Suzie's thing. Listen, Tane, love ya. Thanks for having us. Super fun. Amer, Suzie, hilarious. Had a great time. Great vibes. Everyone stay safe.
All right, that's great. Suzie, he stole your thing. What do you want to say now?
Since everyone talked about Ancestry, this is so funny, but I got an email from my Ancestry.com saying that there was a guy that I dated before my husband, and he was also Palestinian, and it turns out he was my second cousin. It says, I'm so glad I didn't marry that guy.
And this is how you're telling him, is on an election night comedy special.
And I'm glad I married the Pakistani because it gave me so much more comedy. Thank you so much, Tane. This was amazing. You did a really good job babysitting all of us and making sure everything went great.
Yes.
And thank you, Amer and Usama and the interpreters. They did a great job as well.
Oh, yes. So amazing. So amazing.
I learned better English today.
Okay, and Amer, thank you so much for being here. Any last parting wisdom?
Well, no, just that I'm very grateful to the people of Minnesota for, although virtually, doubling the amount of people color in their state tonight by having us here. So thank you for that. And then I just have one last question for the sign language interpreter. I just need to learn how to say free Palestine in sign language. Can you do it for me real quick? Okay, free. I like that Palestine comes to your heart. I like that Palestine. I need to understand how Palestine became your heart, because it is our heart. And don't forget that Jesus was one of us, okay? He wasn't a white guy. I want everybody to look at the screen, okay? A lot of people think that Jesus had blonde hair and blue eyes. He's from Texas. That's not true. Look at your screen very closely, okay? Can everyone see Tane? Okay, that is not what Jesus looked like, all right? Everyone see Usama? That's what Jesus looked like, all right? If you want to be clear, that's what he looked like. But everybody, thank you, and thanks to all the panel and everybody. Love you guys. See you all soon.
All right, thank you all so much. I'm glad we cleared up the Jesus thing. I am so to all of these amazing comedians, to the entire cast of the Theater of Public Policy, our amazing ASL interpreters. I gotta say thank you before we go to Delicious Finnegan's Beer for being our beer sponsor for this evening. If you're near Minneapolis, get some Finnegan's Beer. Thank you so much to the Weizmann Art Museum at the University of Minnesota, who were the ones that really helped make this whole thing come together. Wafaa, if you are watching, which I hope that you still are, thank you so much for being the creative force that pulled us all together to be here tonight. You're amazing. We love you. Yeah, I guess I'll just say one last time, thank you all so much. It's true, we're not going to probably know a lot tonight or maybe for several days. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. No matter what is going to happen over the next 24 hours, the next 24 days, our responsibility to be good to each other and to take care of one another does not change because of the outcome of an election. It doesn't go away because one person wins and we aren't relieved of it because a different person wins. That's our job, is to be good to each other and to take care of one another. So please take care of yourself, take care of one another. Have a very happy, safe rest of your night. Get some sleep, and we will see you all sometime soon. All right, good night, everybody. Thank you all so much. Oh, and thank you so much, Dennis Curley in the booth, making this whole thing happen. Dennis. All right, good night, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye.